Hey guys, what's going on? And thanks for tuning into Legatum Gaming, where today I'm going to be showing you another vendor reset video. So today, as always, what I would do is I will search through all of the safe houses in both the open world and in the dark zone, as well as checking out the checkpoints just to make sure that I can give you the best gear, weapons, or mods and show you guys what is best for this week. As always, if you guys check out the description, I will put in timestamps below to kind of make it a little easier for you guys so you can just kind of fast forward to whatever suits you best. Alright, so let's make a start. In the base of operations, first of all, I normally start at the advanced weapons vendor. However, this week I don't find anything good there. So let's make our way straight to the dark zone gear vendor, where this week they have a pretty decent savage gloves with really nice armor. So 962 is the original armor stat, and they are PvE related. So health on kill, assault rifle damage, and critical hit damage. Now, they are rolled in electronics at 1194, so you could swap these out to firearms, and health on kill being a pretty nice PvE talent. The only problem here is they are assault rifle specific, which I will put in the description, so definitely worth to check out this week, especially with the armor on these being pretty high. The gear vendor offers you this week at the base really nice Nimble holster. Now it's interesting considering that with 1.7 the idea is that the meta will be pretty much classified gear. However, for those people who do want it to run or wanted to run some gold in the meantime until it comes out, then they have a really nice Nimble holster for you. So the original armor on this is 963, which is pretty strong. The firearms is 1258, stamina is 1256, and the electronics, being the weakest roll on these, is 1167. So not too bad at all. And the major being reload speed. So depending on how you guys play, you could keep the reload speed and increase the electronics, or alternatively, you could maybe add in health or critical hit chance here. Depending on how you play, it's entirely up to you. My advice would probably be critical hit chance, as that is the most viable option in pretty much most cases. However, you guys make the choice. Okay, the special equipment vendor this week has a couple of pieces of items I wanted to show you. So as I always say in each week, just be careful when you do buy things from here. They are really expensive, and you gotta ask yourself, is it a worthwhile piece of gear or equipment that I'm buying from here, which will help me. So they are quite high in price, and Phoenix credits aren't cheap and aren't easy to come by. So unless you really need it, or it really makes your build incredibly high or better to what you already have, then just be mindful when you do buy it. Okay, so let's get started. In the rapid vest is what I wanted to show you being the first thing. So 1830 is the original armor stat, which although it's not sort of the best you can get, and I wouldn't say it's a little low, however I would say it's lower compared to the others, they have a really nice rapid vest. So if you take away the armor being not completely maxed, it is really nice. So the original stat on this is 1225 electronics with 4% all resistance, 7% skill haste, and 53% ammo capacity. Now there's two ways or two things you could do with this. So you could either increase the electronics and keep it as it is with the all resistance, or alternatively you could take out the all resistance and have in whatever you want, whether that's health or enemy armor damage. In my opinion, I think the electronics would be reasonable having them at the stat, and I would personally take out all resistance and maybe have in like enemy armor damage or health. However, as I said, that's just a personal preference, and you guys can do whatever you want. And then the last thing we have is actually the prototype electronics mod, although I won't speak too much on this. However, electronics is 250 on it, and the major is health. So for those people who did want to bump up their health and use electronics at the same time, I thought I would very quickly just show you guys this mod. The special blueprints vendor this week offers you the classic AK-47 blueprint, the converted USC blueprint, electronics knee pads blueprint, the holster blueprint, and the high velocity magazine blueprint. Now, again, as I always say, just be careful when you do check these out, because there might be an additional blueprint or several additional blueprints here, which you guys won't be able to see because I already have it, and it looks as if that's the case this week, because normally they have two sort of around here, like a holster, maybe like a muzzle or something like that. So just be careful and do always check this out, because there might be a really nice blueprint which you guys want, which I won't be able to show you because I already have it. Same for your assaults. If you already have it, you won't be able to see it. So, do check these out. The AK-47 is a really nice blueprint to have, especially for PvE, and considering the new 1.7 patch with the classified gear, the classic AK-47 and Striker might seem pretty decent. However, as it's just a test at the second, you can't guarantee that. However, it's a nice blueprint to pick up. At Wolves Den this week, I have to show you the M700 Tactical. Now, although it's not the best in the best so far, it does have 170% headshot damage, so because of this, I do have to show you it, because it is quite rare to come across these. So this is mainly for PvE. It has on it Commanding, Dominant, and Elevated. So, Elevated, that's a really good talent itself. And then out of the two, between Commanding and Dominant, I would probably get rid of Commanding right here, and you could add in whatever you want, like Prepared or maybe Brutal. And then you obviously keep Dominant, which is every kill performed while your signature is active, reduces the cooldown of other skills. I would say that's probably the most viable one here out of the two. However, not the best, definitely not for PvP. However, it does have 170% headshot damage, so I did want to show you this weapon. If you guys did want it, then PvE is my suggestion. The Grindhouse this week offers you a really nice Ti-Rant Suppressor. So 7% crit hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, and 6% headshot damage, with 41% reduced threat. So a really nice suppressor for you guys to check out this week. At West 39th DZ checkpoint this week, they have some pretty nice Savage gloves I want to show you. So let's start off with the armor. Armor is 956, which is really nice. Now it is rolled to stamina, so there's two ways you can go about it. You can keep stamina on this, which is honestly not advised because of the way that it tiers, and you get more out of firearms or electronics. However, it does have 7% enemy armor damage, 1250 shotgun damage, and 7% skill haste. So either you can keep the stamina on it and take out the shotgun damage and put in whatever you want. If you're not running a shotgun, maybe assault rifle damage or SMG damage or critical hit chance, etc. There's a lot you can do with this. Or alternatively, if you are running a shotgun, you could swap out stamina for firearms. So a couple of things you can do with these gloves. However, I thought I would show you them. Okay, West 42nd, I want to very quickly show you a prototype performance mod in the name of a 7% support station range. Now, I normally wouldn't show things like this, however, you guys should know that I'm a big fan of the support station and healer build, and with 1.7 coming out, and it's probably going to be the new meta in terms of maybe final measure at my guess. However, everything's liable to change. This support station range should be quite handy for those people, whether they were going to run it in 1.7 or if they're running it now, just to add a little extra support for their team. So very quickly, I thought I would drop this in there. Alright, West 53rd this week offers you a prototype stamina mod, with 262 being the main on the stamina, with a 3% skill haste. Now, again, normally I wouldn't show these, however, 262 is the main on stamina, is pretty high, and of course, skill haste is pretty much what everyone's running at this minute. Now, the particular reason I want to show you this is just for the sheer fact I actually have trouble with this. So, where you're running kind of like maybe a high firearms build or a hybrid firearms build, where you want to run kind of a mix with skill power, and it's quite hard to unlock your responsive because you don't have enough toughness and you don't have that 2880 or whatever it is, you normally have to tend to use a sort of stamina mod just to bump it up so your responsive talent unlocks. So it's quite hard to come by a pretty nice stamina mod with actually a reasonable major attribute, which is nothing other than health. So this is actually really nice, and I thought I would show you guys for the sheer reason that if you did want to unlock your responsive talent and you did need a stamina mod, then actually this is a really nice one to use it for to unlock it, because you have that 3% skill haste, and actually it's a really nice roll on the stamina mod. East 53rd checkpoint brings you a really nice extended magazine. So 120.5% magazine size, 3% critical hit chance, and 5.2% rate of fire. So actually a really nice magazine. Definitely one to check out for this week, guys. Alright guys, East 46 this week has a really nice high velocity magazine. Now you guys are thinking, high velocity, who uses that? However, as we're coming up to 1.7, let's start thinking ahead. So I believe it's with Lone Star where you don't actually have to reload and it just consistently reloads for you, which is either I think the 5th or 6th talent. However, don't quote me on that. However, there is a gear set in there which does that, or does that at this moment in time. Whether that changes or not, I'm not too sure. However, I don't think it will. So, we're going to change things up a little when it gets to that. So, if you've got a gun which never has to reload, then why would you have kind of like an extended mag? You'd have a high velocity mag. So, let's think of it this way. So, 7%, I'm going to get this, 7% crit hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, and 5.2% rate of fire. Again, you wouldn't need extra bullets or an extra magazine because you would never need to reload. So let's think of it differently, and let's think of actually this is going to be really nice to run and try out. So definitely join me on that journey and let's try it out, guys. East 34th checkpoint this week offers you a pretty nice Holosight 10. So 6.5% critical hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, and 5.5% headshot damage. So, in line with this sort of sight I showed you earlier, definitely one to check out for this week. Okay, at DZ2 Safe House, they've got a pretty nice tactical vector. So 21.5% critical hit chance, which is really strong, with unforgiving, deadly, and commanding. Now, I suppose the good thing here is that the 3rd slot is free or technically rollable. So, I mean, depending on how you run, I mean, Adept is always nice in the 3rd slot here, but it's entirely up to you, which means if you roll out commanding, you would have to keep in unforgiving, which although unforgiving is a really nice skill, it's really hard to have in any other slot other than the 3rd. So that would mean you would have to keep unforgiving. So as I've said, although it's really good, the actual requirement on it, look at that, stamina almost 5,000, so 4,790. So, if you are going to run this, it's more for a hybrid. However, it's actually quite a nice gun, and the talents on it would be really nice if you can unlock them. So unforgiving, and let's say unforgiving, adept, and deadly, they're pretty strong talents. So definitely want to check out for this week and see if you guys wanted to run it. Okay guys, at DZ06 Safe House, they have AlphaBridge holster, and I want to show you it. So really nice. So let's start off as we normally do, or what we're going to do now and going forward, with the armor based on our little feedback. So thank you for that. So 979 is a holster with the armor is incredibly good. Now it has 1217 firearms, 1226 stamina, and 1205 electronics. So to find I was going to say a holster, to find anything with kind of like all 3 above 1200 isn't easy, and considering the armor is so high and actually the stats on this aren't so bad, and it comes with 7% skill haste, this is actually really good. Now I would keep the skill haste here as it's the current meta at the minute, and probably will be going forward, and I would probably look to increase your firearms maybe. However, depending on how you run and what you use, etc, you could just literally change it to whatever you want. However, my advice would be increase firearms to something around the 1270 mark. DZ08 Safe House offers you some pretty decent Banshee Shadow gloves. So the armor is pretty much 900 on this, so not the best, although certainly not the worst. Now it's 1226 firearms, rolled with SMG damage, skill haste, and critical hit damage. So some really nice attributes here on the gloves. There's a couple things you can do with this. You can either increase the firearms, or you could possibly take out SMG damage and put on maybe assault rifle damage, or critical hit chance if you're not running an SMG. You know, I mean, skill haste I would certainly keep on here. However, you know, there's so many things you can do with these. It's entirely up to you. However, thought I would show you them as they seem a pretty good buy for this week. Alright guys, we're at DC9, which is the last stop of the video. Now, I do want to show you this AlphaBridge holster. Now, the armor on it is 971, so the armor is really strong. Now, the stats on this weapon are reasonable at best. However, 1236 for the firearms, 1184 stamina, and 1165 skill. So the stamina and the electronics aren't the greatest, so definitely one to bear in mind when having a look at this. However, it does have reload speed. Now, I know some people do run reload speed. It's entirely up to you. So there's various things you could do with this. For example, you could keep firearms as it is if you're happy, which would be my recommendation. However, you know, entirely up to you, and you could maybe put in like crit hit chance, or you know, kind of like maybe health or skill haste. They're kind of like the three which people use. Or alternatively, if you are using reload speed, then again you can just max out any other stats you want. So various different things you could do with that. If we go take a look downstairs, they have a really nice suppressor. So 17.5% headshot damage, with 4% crit hit damage and 3% crit hit chance. Now, you know, that is really nice itself, although you can get better ones with better headshot damage. Just thought I'd show you guys that. Alright guys, well, this literally has been the worst vendor reset in history, so I do apologize. However, I am just a messenger, and I still have to make the video for you guys. So, you know, I would appreciate any comments on here, a like, or even a subscribe for fresh content. You know, I do various build videos, and I try to cover the PTS as much as I can, as well as live streaming in the Dark Zone. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching, and have a great day.